Yehuda.
We got a mic on. Good morning.
Good morning.
One more minute. First, I'd like to give honor and praise to the Creator of the universe, who has blessed us all to arrive here today safely, and to your extended families who are missing you at this particular time, that you find them safe and comfortable as you might have left them, and that we all receive of the benefit of our coming together for the cause of Africa that we have come for. My name again is Prince Emmanuel ben Yehuda, and after someone introduces you and says so many nice things about you, you are forced to extend yourself to live up to them and beyond. So I want to thank Yehoshaphat and Mark, of course, for the ICD's work and for inviting me to share this time with you all. I must admit, first of all, that I was very excited and proud again to be invited to this particular gathering, because this is the third installment of the Rise of Africa conference. And when you take a minute and you realize the momentum that is being gathered, and what I'm speaking of, again, this is the third installment of the Rise of Africa conference being sponsored by the Institute for Cultural Diplomacy here. The year 2011 has been declared the year of the people of African descent by the United Nations, interestingly. And it has also been proclaimed the 21st century as the African century. And all these things are indicative of an idea whose time has come. And for us, from the African Hebrew Development Agency and the African Hebrew community in Israel, we had proclaimed in the past year that we were now living in what we call the ascension experience. The ascension experience. Now, what do I mean? That in the past, we'd always described ourselves as individuals of descent. African descent, European descent, British descent. But the word descent specifically speaks of a downward motion. Downward. Descending downward. What if we began to see ourselves as a people of ascent? And if it was a descent, where did it start? And when does it end? And that might sound like a clever play on words, except that when we realize, especially when we're talking about the cause of Africa, and you realize that for all of the energy that has been put toward the reestablishment, the restoration, the rebuilding of the continent, or the correcting of the disparity that has existed between Africa and the rest of the world for the past 4 decades, at least, when you talk, and 5 in some cases, where you talk about since independence, you realize that it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. And so there is obviously some motion that goes with that word descent. There has been a continued decline. And so therefore, if we are analyzing where we are going and where we're coming from at this particular time, we're talking about a people of African ascent, we have to be able to go back and have been able to put in place policies, programs, etc., that demonstrate a motion in a different direction than where we have come from. And that is, I think, what has been captured by the ICD and the Rise of Africa conference, series of African conferences, by the spirit that is prevalent in the universe right now with the proclamations by the AU of the Year of People of African Descent, etc. So we are caught up in something, I think, that is very much even bigger than us. Now, we can treat it like it's a clever terminology, or we can accept the responsibility of this dynamic moment and be a part of a very significant change in history.